My phone's back is feeling. Ugh. I feel sore. Well, aloha there. I'm here ready to do this. What I've been looking over this time was what type of historical difference between the Regency era and the Victorian era. Something related to this morning while I was watching The Gilded Age, and the creator later, me later discovering that he also was the creator of Bridgerton, and I'm always curious with these period dramas, particularly because I like the history of learning it. So that's something I want to just look at the Victorian era, because first things first is the Victorian age. Let's see if this is the era. Okay, so that's another name, the Victorian age. I want to go through, not thoroughly, if it just takes too much time, but just the gist. I'm curious the Regency era, because I do know about the Victorian era, particularly with the Gilded Age. But there's always something I like to reflect and go back. After all, I'm still learning, even if there's a topic, let's say World War II. There's still a lot of things I could go over and searched up. So, Victorian era. In the history of the United Kingdom, the Victorian era was the period of Queen Victoria's reign from the 20th of June 1837 until her death on 22 January 1901. The era followed the Gregorian period and preceded the Edwardian period. His later half overlaps with the first part of the Belle Epoque era of continental Europe. There was a strong religious drive for higher moral standards, led by the nonconformist churches such as the Methodists and the evangelical wing of the established Church of England. Ideologically, the Victorian era witnessed resistance to the rationalism that defined the regime. Also, I'm seeing that this one is acting up a lot more today. What is up with that? Is it because of my movements, or is it the lighting? Close this off. And let's repair it again. No, it still work. I'm curious, since nobody doesn't ask, is this flashing really that concerning? I mean, if a lot of people actually do say that, sure. So, yeah, religious strong from higher moral standards led by the nonconformist churches such as the Methodist and the evangelical wing of the established Church of England. Ideologically, the Victorian era witnessed the resistance to the rationalism that defined the Gregorian, I always say Gregorian, or Georgian, but the Gregorian period, an increasing turn towards romanticism and even mysticism with regard to religion and social values and arts. Technologically, this era saw a staging amount of innovations that proved key to Britain's power and prosperity. Doctors started moving away from tradition and Methodism towards a science-based approach. Modern medicine saw the light of day thanks to the adoption of the germ theory. And yeah, it's just adoption of the germ theory of disease and pioneering research in etymology. Domestically, the political agenda was increasingly liberal, with a number of shifts that direction in the direction of gradual political reform, social reform, and the widening of franchise There was unprecedented demographic changes. The population of England and Wales almost doubled from 16.8 million in 1851 to 30.5 million in 1901. And Scotland's population also rose rapidly from 2.8 million in 1851 to 44 million in 1901. However, Ireland's population decreased sharply from 8.2 million in 1841 to less than 4 million in 1901, particularly because it is part of Great Britain around the time, most due to immigration and the Great Famine, or the Irish Potato Famine. Between 1837 and 1901, about 15 million immigrated from Great Britain, mostly to the United States, Canada, South Africa, New Zealand, and Australia. Thanks to educational reforms, the British population not only approached universal literacy towards the end of the era, but also became increasingly well educated. The market for reading materials of all kinds boomed. Britain's relations with other great powers were driven by antagonism with Russia, including the Crimean War and the Great Game. After all, understanding about European affairs and stuff, they are equivalent to things that are related to it. Okay, it looks like I'm going over time, so I better will cut this out. Well, I come back here next time. Anywho, aloha.